What the fuck is sleep? I don't even know what that is. Just pull me up over that tree. Hold up and watch that bitch feed.
Hey, shout out What Sleep TV, man. What Sleep TV? Ain't no sleep, motherfucker.
Starlito.
What's happening?
Man, there's a lot of people gonna be surprised to see you on What Sleep. Everybody that like knows me personally, like the guy that runs What Sleep, like they know that like, man, you know, he been saying he been wanting to link with Starlito since he started. That's his favorite rapper, blah blah blah. Yeah. So you gotta know I appreciate you for your time.
So likewise, bro.
Thank you. And you know, we got the performance that's coming out. Can't wait to get that out. We just got like a lot to like. 2025 gonna be a good year for What Sleep, and you kicking off that like that's big to me. I appreciate it. I never forget it. So, December 2024. I hope I got my dates right, but that's when you release Aint Going, right?
Yeah, I released a single on my birthday on December 15th.
December 15th. So December 2024, you released something with Bandplay.
Yeah.
So why did you release, Aint Going with Bandplay? Like y'all got something coming up?
Yeah, it's a lead single. It's actually a lead single to a joint album, collaborative album, if you will, with Bandplay. We did a project in 2018, Trap Star. It was myself, Trapperman Dale, and Bandplay. It was exclusively produced by Bandplay. So, I mean, we obviously got a lot of history and chemistry. And this album, Starlito and Bandplay album, is called Legendary Status. And it's just kind of, doubling down on all that. Like even since that project, or since the beginning, since we began working, like, I'm on the same, bro, like, just, going up. Like, and I saw it when I can't remember the first record that we did, but I saw it right away. Like, we had instant chemistry. Like, we got smashed together, eyes closed. Meanwhile, with Don Trip and Dolph, Ballin' with Juicy J, Kevin Gates. These was our first records. And we got tons of them. So it's just due time, and just really trying to put on. We rock with each other. We definitely respect each other's journeys in this, and Legendary Status is, insight wise, I think the second solo song I ever recorded was called Legendary Status. And I was probably like, it ain't never come out. I was like 15 or something like that. But yeah, I was recording under a different name before All Star and everything.
Oh, damn, for real?
Yeah, I was the baby legend. And so this kind of called back to that. Like, even putting out a lead single, like trying to build up the momentum for a release in a more like throwback kind of way. But yeah, we about to take it there with a joint project with me and Bandplay. So I'm looking forward to that this year.
Didn't you post a release date whenever on Instagram or something?
Nah, we ain't got a release date.
Not yet.
Nah, we ain't publicized no release date.
Okay. Shit.
Just put the single out on my birthday. I mean, I released music on my birthday throughout my career, and it was just kind of, we decided it was good timing for that.
Well, so whose idea was it for y'all to, finally like put together like another joint album like that? You or Bandplay? Was it somebody else?
It's kind of collectively. Like, that was the first song that we recorded for the project. Like, we just were going in, and I made that I Ain't Going song. And by the time I probably did the song in like 45 minutes, like legit, from the time of him playing the beat or finishing the beat. The song was probably done in 45 minutes, and we both was just charged up and like loved the song, and it was so like seamless. It was, obviously we've done dozens of records over the years, but that first one was almost like magical. So the idea was kind of floated, like, man, we need to, if it's this easy, or we need to do a whole project kind of thing. And we went to Vegas like a few days after that. We met up out in Vegas, got in the studio 3-4 days straight, knocked out a gang of records, and I mean, that's just always how it's been. Like, we just link up and just do music.
Oh, so y'all friends outside of music?
Yeah, that's my dog. But it's just always like, I definitely respect his hustle. He always working. He always working, he's making 5-10 beats a day as long as I ever knew him. And you know, it's been pockets of time when I lived in the studio and I'm just in there working. So if he pull up, we doing something, I can pull up on him in one of his spots. We link out of town, brother, travel with me, you know what I'm saying, going to shows, and we just rocking. But yeah, I rock with bro. Tough.
I mean, but outside of music though, like how you been mentally? Like you just had your 40th birthday, that's big. So how you been doing mentally? You know you spend a lot of time with your daughter.
Yeah, for sure.
How you doing outside of music though?
It's hard to
put it in words.
It's hard to describe. Yeah, I'm just
living in the moment.
Somewhat trying to, you know, survive the times. I'm conscious though. I'm conscious and I'm present, and I just think that's kind of where I stand, and valuing like controlling what you can and not giving too much energy or consideration on what you can't. So you could say living in a moment, but it's like understanding like what you can control and just being mindful of that. But I'm alright. I'm just back in a space where, like you said, outside of music, where I understand a purpose or a calling even that I've had, or being a certain like vessel, and I wanna make sure that my gift and otherwise is not wasted. So I want my existence within the music and stuff to matter, because you know I have invested so much time and energy into it throughout. So just like trying to balancing it all is, you know, it's his own challenge, I guess. But you can say even aging, it's like I look at a lot of this differently than I used to. But
in what way? Are you talking about music or just like in general?
Both. Okay. Both, but it, from like my relationship to music, making music, like artistry, being a creative and otherwise. But you know, it's like, I think, is there such thing as putting too much into it, or I don't know if there's an answer to that, or what. This is to each his own. Where I am on some like life type of time is like sometimes, you know what I'm saying, can waver of like what's important and what matters to you.
I low-key want to highlight something that you said. You said something along the lines of, you know, don't stress over what you can't control. And I think that's important, you know, to link back to, you know, to my health issues in the past. I used to just talk to my mom, you know, just be super in my head, stressed about that. And once I understood that, like, you know, once I got in my head to basically not stress over what you can't control, that kind of like helped me get through, you know, that hard part of that process.
Yeah. And
I think I told you this before too, but a lot of your music personally got me through that. It was two songs in particular, but really one. It's an old song, Felt Like Giving Up. I remember recording that a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the song. I don't know if I remember recording it. But also, what was the other one? You said two songs.
At War With Myself.
Okay, on the same project. Yeah, for sure. I mean, what I was saying though was not just don't stress what you can't control, but control what you can. Like literally, like when you are stressing about things that's out of your control, you displacing that energy that you could commit to things that you could, you know, overcorrect or steer in the right direction. Like if you obsessing about public opinion or other people's perception of you, which you cannot really dictate, you can't control, like, then it's gonna be something else that you ain't giving proper attention to. You know what I'm saying? Like your own productivity, your own like well-being and wellness and whatnot. So, but yeah, Felt Like Giving Up at War With Myself. That was definitely a headspace, and I carved it out in music form because it was real, you know. I'm glad it reached people the way that it did or resonated, because in truth, like, it was a lot of darkness around me, and like that was my only out, was putting it in the music like that. The energy of that project overall was like, I don't know, when I revisit it, it's like, I can't say the making the music was fun as like an outlet or the freely expressing yourself, but it's interesting, like, whatever.
How it touch people.
Yeah, how it moved people, because I probably was just going through it and it was just coming out in my words or, you know, my composition.
Can we both agree that, you know, the music industry, like, it changed? Well, as of now, let's say, like, I don't know, maybe the last 10 years or so, the music industry, like, it changes, like, you know, I'm talking about, you know, for artists, it really produces, really, just in general, for blogs, everything. Can we both, like, agree that the way things work, it changes pretty often? Would you agree to that?
Yeah, for sure. I think it changes often. I've seen it change a lot, and it's still changing. Like,
so with that being said, for somebody that's been in the music industry a lot, I can't really ask too many people this, because, you know, you've been in the music industry for a long time. You know, I think you said really since you was like, what, 18, 19, 20, around that time? I don't know. Long time.
18, 19. I say really in a business mix of it since I was like 19.
Okay.
I technically put out my first mixtape when I was 18. I was about to turn 19 the next month. So, and then, yeah, while I was 19, I started doing business.
So with that being said, like, is there any like specific thing that you've seen happen within the music industry that kind of like surprised you the most? You get what I mean by that? Like, as many times as it's like it's just changed like the way we do things or the way fans consume things. Is there any specific thing that like surprised me? Like, wow, like people really doing this to, you know, go check out my music or go watch my video, things of that nature.
Nah, nothing surprises me anymore. But I mean, you see the writing on the wall. You can kind of see it coming, like, as chasing a viral moment became like a thing or a means to an end of breaking music. Like, understanding that that's the rules of engagement, then you gotta really kind of understand that anything goes. Like, surprise might not be the right word, but I was a little bit like
Disappointed?
Maybe disappointed, and maybe just like it was discouraging as a artist by nature, that when the music became the least important component of music business or music industry. People always say, oh, it's 10% talent, 90% business or hustle or whatever. That may have always been true, but like now it's maybe 1% to 99%, and even the business side of it or the industry side is so like, what's the word? Like, just, I was gonna say cruel, but like it don't matter. Like, you know, do whatever it takes kind of thing. And I mean, at some point it was more like strategy and nuance, but now it's like exploitation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's exploitive, and I don't know, that was probably always the nature of the beast. But I think if 50 Cent getting shot 9 times was the centerpiece of his marketing campaign, he still had like fire music to go with it. Right. You know what I'm saying? His music was still like the soundtrack. Maybe they was leaning into the violence of the environment that he came from, and that wasn't just a New York thing. That resonated everywhere. They know it's a hood everywhere. They know we can sell these movies that depict this. So like, man, the music matching that, it's an aesthetic. Somebody somewhere behind the desk or people that's moving the money behind it, like, we gonna lean into it. But I still feel like the music was just still so well produced, and like there was the energy, effort, talent, and otherwise went into the music, into the content itself. Now it's like it's just dressing it up. It's just like shock value. It's just like we're gonna present something aesthetically that's just gonna distract you so bad that it can you know what I'm saying, sound like whatever, they can say whatever, or even just the shock value. Like me having a kid now, like I have to sift through like what she is exposed to, because I'm like, it ain't, the filters don't come from the mediums no more. It's like, you know, people gonna be fully naked on regular network TV pretty soon, on the non-cable. Well, we like here we got 2, 4, and 5, and like people, you know what I'm saying, it's close. Like and even with the music, like radio is graphic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, but it's like the business of it demands it. Like that's what you competing with. How far can we take it? And we not pushing the envelope as far as no kind of real like quality standard. I mean, there's still talent in the industry, but it ain't, the cream don't rise to the top no more, as they say. That was a little, it wasn't surprising, but it's a little like disappointing. Like it ain't as much the game for being the best. Like it's like being, I live by like being good ain't good enough. Like in this, it doesn't matter. Like it ain't a contest. It's not a skill contest. You know what I'm saying? It's a hustle for the most part.
Yeah, that makes me think of, I wish like I knew the video, but this just popped up in my head. But I think it's about 2 years ago, I seen somebody say, like it was a video that had like at least like 1 billion views. I think like maybe on Instagram or TikTok or something, I don't know. And it was like, man, really like most of like the mainstream artists that we listen to nowadays, they really just influencers for real that just make music. And that goes back to kind of what you said. It's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like more like the look, like, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that whole culture is like booming. It's at the forefront of like influencer culture, like who moves the needle as far as these metrics go. Like I was making that example of the centerpiece being whatever. Like now it's just who can generate the mouse clicks, who can run the numbers up. And even if your audience come from over here, come from something else, it's like, well, let's just put a song with it. Let's just, oh, they making music now. And it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, not saying someone can't stumble up and make a good song, or make something programmable, or make something that you can't get out of your head or whatever, and more power to that. Like, but overall, like, it's killed what was, it's transformed the industry. Like you said, it's ever changing, it's gonna keep changing, but I don't see it going back to the way it was. You know, the money. The money, like you can always follow the money, and influencer culture becoming prominent in the music business is because it generates revenue. Like when people jobs and bottom line and dollars and cents get involved, like they don't care. Like the music industry was always soulless. Like they never cared about the people and whoever was the face of it all. It's just like, how much can you make us? How much is it gonna cost? If you come in with a built-in audience, that means we don't gotta do artist development. That means we don't have to build you up. They engage in what you do. Like, yeah, let's call it rap. Let's call it, you know what I'm saying, whatever else. And it's like, it's not gonna go back to gatekeeping from like a talent end. Like that ain't gonna happen. Like,
I agree with that. So if I were to guess, you know, just like a few features that's gonna be on this album, I'm just taking a guess, because you know it's kind of, I guess, like a trend of the people you've been working with lately.
It ain't none right now.
Oh, none? No, I was gonna say Top, Trip, and Dale.
Yeah, I've been doing music with all them. We all got hella music and constantly doing it. I'm gonna be in the studio with Top tomorrow. Trip was up here yesterday. He came through town yesterday. But as far as like, I don't know because it's not we ain't at we're not finished with the product to be able to say like what it will be or won't be. But as of right now, like all the music I got with Bandplay is me and Bandplay, you know. Because I mean, hell, he has a range of people that he frequently collaborates with that I don't know if he'll end up, you know, linking me with whoever, or like you said, is working with my go-to guys that I work with pretty much primarily. But we just was kind of focused on just bringing the best out of each other, like, as a starting point, at least.
In Sweet Poison song, Can't Be Fucked With, you got on the remix. There's one line that kind of stuck with me that you said, and I want to ask you about it. You said, I tried to tell, I might be quoting it a little wrong, but I tried to tell y'all about gentrification as well. Bought a couple houses, renovated it myself, and I can't remember after that. I think that kind of section kind of ended after that. But I guess this leads towards, you know, why did you say that in that song? Like, what made you want to say that in that song?
If you go back and listen to my Hot Chicken album, 2017, and I did a mixtape, AT&T 2, Attention Times of Texas 2. It had a subtitle which was Gentrified, and Hot Chicken. It was because it was like a precursor to Hot Chicken, and that was a big subject. Like I talked about it on the intro to that album, like gentrification, because I was born and raised in Nashville, and I saw Nashville changing, like right in front of me, or it had been changing. Like I moved away for a couple of years, and I came back, and you know, I was always coming back and forth, even when I lived away. But I just watched it. I mean, I watched it change since you know, since I was a kid, pretty much. It was slowly changing when we got the Titans and all that, and the Predators. But over the last 15 years, it's just been like drastically changing, like right before our eyes. And I just kind of feel like people from where I come from kind of was oblivious to it. It was happening right up under our nose, and we ain't really had the game. You know what I'm saying? We ain't had the information or the knowledge necessarily. I mean, even sometimes you just gotta seek it out or figure it out. But my music in general, I'm like always trying to time capsule and speak on the world around me that I see. Sometimes it's really insulated, and I'm talking about things that happen in this room, you know, be it a relationship or just my own personal experience. But sometimes it's like current event, real time, you know what I'm saying, the world around me. Like, be it something viral or something that's just noteworthy that enters my consciousness, I'm gonna put it in my music. And at that point, it was like pivotal. Like, Nashville was like changing, and I mean, it's only like, so went on shout out to Sweet Poison on that song. It was like I just made mention, like I tried to tell people to get out ahead of it, because I mean, we've only seen the cost of living probably like double up, like as far as like a like just a housing wage and interest rates, like from that time, from 2017 to dropping that album to that was like what, 7 years later, you know, the same spot. Like you watch a $1,500 apartment is probably $2,500 now, and it's like, or you know, the same for, you know, renting an actual house. So I'm like, imagine if you know, bought back then or before then, like you would be ahead of the curve if able. But just, you know, it's the same thing. Like I just mentioned it to say, like, I tried to tell you, like, cause I did. It was, you know what I'm saying, the breadcrumbs was in the music even, you know.
Yeah, I seen a lot of that. I'd say probably over the last, like, well, no, I ain't even gonna say 5 years, because I got out of school in 2016. I started seeing
out of high school.
Yeah. So I think I started seeing the change. Low key, like, yeah, I think around 2017. But that's when, like, you know, I really started getting down to seeing the real world. So yeah. Do you think like the change has been good for Nashville though? Like as a Nashville native, in the grand scheme of things? I've asked a lot of people that, and some people say yeah, like it's good. Like why would you not want change? And then I had other people say shit, I mean, they changing our culture, you know?
Yeah, I'm indifferent, because I feel like it's what you make it. It for sure affects different people in different ways. I can't say it's great, and I can't say it's the worst. You know, worst case scenario. It is different. It's a different world, it's a different place than where I grew up, than maybe than I always knew. But I think a big part of it is like, how well can you adjust or adapt, or if you even want to. You know, I'm not so much of like a stuck in my ways kind of person, to not be able to find things to appreciate about it, but I also can see the like ill effects of like displacing people and families, and you know, as I said, like we losing recipes, like we losing certain elements of our like heritage, you know, and certain like businesses and things that we grew to know and love, like that just don't exist anymore, like that, you know. So it's give and take. I can appreciate certain parts of like the big city vibe, and see how other people might really like it, enjoy it, appreciate it, and that kind of is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. Like it's hit or miss. Like there's things that I like about it, and simultaneously, like I know it might affect other people in a way that's not so favorable, and it's like, dang, you know, I have to wish it ain't that. Yeah, or I wish it didn't have to be like that and affect those people, but it's, you know.
I feel you. So, I think this is kind of me telling you this, but I think because, you know, I talk to, you know, a lot of these people, like I have relationships with a lot of these people, and I just kind of like see, you know, with just things people post, and I'm gonna bring up one thing, for example, like GloRilla. I ain't know GloRilla listened to you, but I remember one day she had posted this my morning motivation song, and it was No Rearview Too with Don Trip, and damn, I can't remember right, but yeah, it was No Rearview Too. Is this surprising to you to like see the influence that you have on like a lot of like young rappers? Because I mean, Lil Baby said you his favorite rapper. I think no cap to Kevin Gates a lot. Like, and I can keep on going. I mean, even Top, for example. Looking back, would you have seen this? Like, did you? It's hard to say.
Yeah, I guess it's surprising because you don't pick nobody else's favorite rapper for them, so I would never guess or whatever. Like, I ain't so full of myself to imagine that I am. Like, hearing it a few times over, or hearing it from artists of a certain stature, I kind of take it all in the same though. Like you said, even for Top or for every other artist that you name, it's a compliment. It's an ultimate compliment, but I take it similarly as when a guy walking down the street says it, or like, you know what I'm saying. I appreciate it all, and it's I guess it is surprising, or it's just like, oh, that's what's up, or like, wow, you know what I'm saying. It can be almost like a wow kind of factor from other artists. There is a part of it that, like, I think peer approval matters, and so other people that's doing this too, to know that I can't speak to how much it may have or inspired other people, because saying somebody's your favorite versus someone inspired or influenced you is two different things. So I don't try to put too much on it or take too much with those compliments, but it's like I always can appreciate somebody giving it up, because you don't have to, and a lot of times people will go out of their way to do the opposite. People might go out of their way to act like they hadn't heard of you, weren't influenced, like, you know. Yeah. So somebody like willfully volunteering that kind of compliment is like, dang, that's what's up. That's real. It's a reminder that work that I put in wasn't in vain, or it didn't like fall on deaf ears. It wasn't like nobody was listening to it, or it didn't reach, because every other artist that you named outside of Big Txp was from elsewhere, you know, like from Memphis, Atlanta, Mobile, Baton Rouge. Like, to know that my name, my music reached there and reached people, like, that's what's up. Like, I always appreciate it. But yeah, I guess I'm always surprised by it too. That was the question. Like, yeah, I'll be surprised by it for sure.
So this is related to Payroll Giovanni.
Okay.
That's actually, when I seen you shout out his last album, and I just wanted to ask, like, is that the type of, well, I'm not gonna say the type of stuff that you listen to, but is that kind of like that grown man, get money music, you know, feel better, do better type music? Is that more of the stuff that you're listening to now?
Yeah, I like bro music. I have for a while. Like, I guess that's probably a good way of classifying it, but categorizing it. A lot of times I can respect somebody like hustle as much as just the music itself, but like, I feel like we cut from a similar cloth, like come from a more or less a similar era. Like, it's some overlap, like some mutuals, even in between, you know what I'm saying, just on some quiet as kept type of time, to where like when I got wind of his music or his push, that just made it make even that much more sense to me. But it's just, you know, same thing you said, people giving it up. Like, it don't really take much to acknowledge when you see somebody else doing their thing. And the last project, I tapped into it and I heard a few things that like spoke to me, or, you know, I found myself riding to it and enjoying it. But yeah, shout out to bro. Like,
yeah, just to kind of even comment on that too, I've been listening to, basically, like, y'all around the same age and y'all been putting out music around the same time. Like, I remember when he was with Doughboy's Cash Out, and, you know, kind of like how I told you, I was listening to Ultimate Warrior a lot. His early projects, I was listening to a lot of his projects a lot. Okay. What I think is dope to see, I know you said in an interview a while back, like, well, no, I think it was in a song, I don't know, but you said you ain't never think you would see yourself 40 and still rapping. But I think it's a good thing, because the growth in both of y'all music, like, you can see the shit in real time. Like, a fan that has been listening for a long time, like, they see that and grow with y'all, you know what I'm saying? So
for sure. Yeah, that's what without like knowing them like that, like, it's a few artists that I look at as almost like peers. Like, we doing more or less the same thing, or we got a similar approach to what we doing, and that even equal to like the staying power. Like, us having a longer shelf life with what we doing, because I didn't see it for myself at this age. My mindset has changed. Like, I look at time differently than I did. It was a time I was living so fast that I ain't see myself doing nothing past 30, because I might not have, I wasn't, you know what I'm saying, that progressive. I wasn't allowing myself to think ahead. I was, you know, more destructive. So, hey, just getting to 30 might have been a start. Yeah, so let alone, it was borderline corny at the time to think you was gonna be, you know, trying to like be a rapper past a certain point. I think a lot of artists broke that mold. Like, you saw people to like be able to maintain a cool factor, or, you know, hustle with rap hustle with some grace, with like, you know what I'm saying, like, still have that, like, give you that same feeling from what they was doing. I mean, you got legacy artists that just perform, they just go out and do their hits, and we still embrace them the same because the music was timeless, or because they just are who they are. They put in their work and it ain't going nowhere. And then you got artists that can still deliver and create, you know what I'm saying, create new content, but it's like the music and the audience growing with them. You know, I think the rap fan, when I fell in love with rap, people that was 40 damn near weren't listening to rap. So that's probably part of how you you wouldn't have seen yourself rapping at 40. If I was on, what I'd have been like 11 when Tupac died. 40-year-olds, you heard 40-year-olds like, cut that rap out, like, you know what I'm saying? That was kind of the other side of it, and it's like verses, you know what I'm saying? By the time I'm 20 and trying to rap, you had somebody like Jay-Z pushing 40 and at the top of the game. You know what I'm saying? It's very different. So his fans that came with him the last 10 years was like 40 and still rocking out with, you know what I'm saying? It's just the climate change, you know?
Yeah. So I think this was in Aint Going. I'm pretty sure it was, but you said you put the cup down. I can't remember what you said after that, but can you kind of touch on like how you've been doing mentally and physically since you had, you know, quote unquote, put the cup down?
Yeah. Yeah, I was down bad, but I'm up now, thinking clear, put the cup down or something to that effect. But yeah, I don't like soapboxing. I don't look down on nobody for whatever they do, because I think I can understand, empathize better than your average, you know, based on my own experience with a lot of different things. But like, I don't drink syrup no more, and I think it's just it just ain't for me, you know. It's a habit that I indulged in, I overindulged, and I just outgrew it. It just ain't for me, like, and it's kind of as simple as that. Like, my health and all that is more of a priority, like, as I kind of make a part of my everything. Like, I got a kid I want to be around for, but I think I had set it aside even before she was born, and it's just kind of figured that it wasn't for me. Like, I don't know, sometimes with our vices and things we do, it can be coping mechanism, and that's when it kind of get touchy, because like, what you gonna do when you can't get to it, if that's what you no pun intended, if that's what you're leaning on. But yeah, I just got on the other side of it, and I don't know. It ain't even like a temptation, or, you know. I feel like I am a creature of habit. I kind of got an addictive personality in certain ways, but I'm also like, if I'm off something, I can just be off of it just as strong. Like the cold turkey thing was a real thing. It's just, but I don't, like I said, I don't want to condemn it, or I ain't in a space to be judgy. I just kind of reached a point where it's not for me, and certain things, like they say, to break a habit, you gotta create a new one. And a lot of times, like, even, you know, I just smoke weed like all day, every day, nonstop. I went back through my archives at one point on like Instagram even, and I'm like, man, every other post, like, it's smoke everywhere. Or you know what I'm saying, I'm smoking and talking while I'm, you know, in most of my posts and stuff like that, and I'm like, dang, like, to be fully functional while doing all that, I'm like, it's almost amazing to me looking back, because it's just not a part of my routine. But like I said, as far as creating a new habit to break an old one, like, you know, I'll get in the gym, I'll work out, I like to run, I like, you know, I like to do certain other things to clear my head, or you know, there's such things like a runner's high, or, you know, the whatever comes from exercise, endorphin release, etc. Just think it's about balance, and I've said it, but do what you do, just don't let it do you. Like, I subscribe to that.
You know, I got a relationship with Big Txp. You know, we actually real good friends. Like,
for sure,
good friends. Like, I actually talked to him before we came here. He actually told me to tell you what's up, and that he was gonna kick your ass in college football.
Man, that's crazy. I'm gonna get on the game when I get to the crib. Like, Red challenged me yesterday. I'm like,
who did?
Red Dot.
Oh, word.
Like, I don't know why everybody think this shit sweet, but I've been playing Road to Glory mode, man. I've been telling myself I was snowed in, and but yeah, what you was gonna say about you on top?
No. So, I kind of just wondered, you know, because you know I've been friends with him and for a long time.
Okay.
And like, what is it that you've seen in Top to make you want to have a partnership with him versus like what is it that you've seen in Top in his music?
Yeah, first of all, it ain't versus nobody.
Like,
I know you might have just been saying it, but
that's why I cut myself out. Like,
for sure, with Big Top, first of all, I've known him for a while too. Like you said, y'all go back, y'all got history.
Yeah.
I've known bro since he was in high school.
Playing basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, he talked about that in the interview actually.
And you know, him and Doug, him and his little brother, like I just always rock with them, you know, since they was youngsters. Just period. So when I saw him doing music, I kind of tapped into it by default of, like I said, us already knowing each other, us already being cool. And immediately, like, I was drawn in, like, on just the entertainment value, almost like humor, or it's like, it's lighthearted. Like, even we sitting in, when he was sharing his album that's about to come out, I'm like, man, so one of my partners was there and was like, bro, I've never heard somebody make trap and make hustling sound so fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you what it put me in the mind of, what, like, I guess that you could say this piqued my interest. It brought back a feeling that I used to get from listening to like 2007. I know that people reference 2006 with 07 Gucci Mane, 07, 08 Gucci Mane. Cause me and Red Dot used to sit at a spot and watch like Hood Affairs DVDs, and you know what I'm saying, this is DVD era, the mix, like we watch No Pad No Pencil every other day, and we watch, you know what I'm saying, all those different like that type of content, and like Gucci was just like free spirited, like jolly almost. I mean, he was still talking like street shit, but it was like fun almost. So it was so like, you know, and the first things I heard, like that's what I got from it. And truthfully to me, it was like a breath of fresh air, because I mean, even though, you know what I'm saying, it's all there in the music, and like I said, I know him, so it's certain things that he's saying that I know the backstory, I know what's real, you know what I'm saying, I know his folks, and otherwise, and it's like, he ain't just talking, even if he say it in a silly way, if he say it in a roundabout way, he say it in a unique way, I'm like, I know it's something like credible to a lot of it. So I'm like, damn, this is different. Cause a lot of times I feel like a lot of artists are trying so hard to be credible that it's like, man, you take yourself too serious, or you overselling the worst of it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Versus like, I just think it's different, and like you are who you are, and you just existing within that. Other than like, it wasn't a character that he was caricature around, building around what he was doing. I feel like this who he is, and this is just the way he expressing it, and it's like I said, the fun element. You know, I reached out to him just kind of, you know, rocking with him, like, hey, you finished with your new tape, send me something. And he sent me some stuff, but it was a song on his prior project that had stood out to me, and I was like, send me a verse, send me this one with a verse open too. I did the other song still, but from there, when I did the verse, I did both the verses at the crib. I pulled up on him at the studio and to give him the music. I sent it to him, but you know, like at the same time I was pulling up, and I just kind of sat back and observed, seeing how he worked, and it was like, I'm gonna tell you, I got the same vibe when I worked with Lil Baby, when I got in the studio with Lil Baby. Like, they're just going in, and it's like, I'm like, damn, like, even as a veteran, somebody's been doing it for so long, it was like refreshing to see like the the new energy of creating rap. How people putting their raps and their songs together. They like thinking on their feet. They not thinking too hard. It's just like going in, and I'm like, it's a vibe all its own. And like being able to see them work like that, I'm like, oh yeah, I think it's something to it. Like it's just more than whatever we doing on the business side. I immediately felt like I think you own something, and I think if you just stay at it, chip away, like what I believe in, brick by brick, like you gonna build something up. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta. The it factor was just something like unique about it. Like I said, it's street music, so I think credibility is important. Yeah. Is very most important. You know, to the point where people put the credibility ahead of the music, like I was saying. But I was like, yeah, it's only a matter of time before you know, the fact that you taking it serious and really, you know what I'm saying, committing to it. I'm like, man, just stay at it, just keep going. And I believe that with repetition, with anything, you put in the reps, you're gonna get better. In the gym, you do the reps, you're gonna get stronger. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you're gonna hit your stride with this. You're gonna figure out your lane and carve that out. And I'm like, I knew right off. My initial impression was like, he ain't trying to, like, even if I took something and I felt similar, I'm like, he ain't trying to be nobody else. He ain't trying to, you know what I'm saying, come into this on you know. And cause I'm mindful of that. Like I ain't trying to stand over nobody. I ain't trying to puppet master that whole thing. Like you are you and do you. You know what I'm saying? If I can add something to it, more power to it. But I am for sure ain't trying to dictate or control it, cause shit, the things that make you is that's what I think is gonna work. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah. So what can we expect from you, if you know, at this point in this year, music wise?
Man, I'll probably have to pull back up. Huh?
I know we already know you got that one project.
Yeah. I'll probably pull up on you and give you a status update along the way, cause I don't like to too much like show my hand or give too much info. I will say I'm like fully committed to a few other like things musically and project. Well, I'm excited about them even, and that's like I ain't been in that space in a while. You know, I stepped aside, like, and it wasn't pronounced. I ain't want to do no press conference or like make it formal, but I'm like, I'm in a certain space where like I wanna do this, and so I'm definitely, I was inspired by my stepbrother doing 24 projects in 24 months. I'm still
that shit is crazy.
Yeah, he a robot. I figured it out. He's actually a robot. But even with that, like that was so inspiring, cause you know that's somebody I work with so much, and to just know like, ain't nobody making him do that, like, and to see his quality standard not dip or taper off, I'm like, I ain't finna do that. I'm not finna like replicate what he did, but as far as like, you know, I want to scale up the productivity and get locked in. I just gotta get back to moving around with the music, cause I said it, I put it out there even with some of my promo with like 2 albums ago. Like I ain't want to miss nothing when my daughter was first born, and I worked hard enough to be able to afford myself that, and that's just a part of like what you hustling for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we always used to say like, when we hustling to disappear, like a lot of people hustling to be seen. Like we hustling to disappear, we hustling to have something to show for it enough to where we ain't gotta do it. You know what I'm saying? And I think like I did that. Like even at the time that my daughter was born, like I dropped like 3 or 4 projects that year. You know what I'm saying? I dropped a project a couple weeks before she was born, or a couple months before she was born, another one early, like, you know what I'm saying? So I was able to like say, all right, cool. And then even during paternity leave, I was like, I missed it. because we was on lockdown. Like I couldn't go to the studio if I wanted to, and that was, you know, addition by subtraction, I guess. Like because I wasn't able to, it allowed, like it made me like want to do it, and I got in there for that. But like I even titled it as such. Like the writing was on the way. It's paternity leave. I'm telling you, I'm taking a break without saying, you know what I'm saying. I didn't want to do it dramatically, but I didn't think the break was gonna be that long after that. But that was just life, and now I'm kind of like recharged if you will. There's a lot of things that I am inspired by, like even the challenge of navigating these changes. You know what I'm saying? This is a long time coming, us even sitting down, because this ain't, I had to embrace it. This ain't like necessarily a space I was always so comfortable.
Well, you mean like doing interviews?
Yeah, sitting and like I was raised not to talk to strangers, and so like just overall, and I mean I'm saying it being funny, but like doing promo, doing media, and a lot of times you are talking to strangers, you know, and not saying that about you, but I like to go when I'm celebrated and not tolerated for the most part, but it's like understand like the game you playing, like. You know, you gonna play the game, like lace them up and go hard, kind of thing. So that's where I'm at. I just don't want to show my hand and also I don't want to have people on my bumper like, man, you said you was dropping this, and this, and like I'd rather just you know what I'm saying.
I feel that. I respect.
Load up and be ready to, you know what I'm saying.
So shit, just look out for it. Look out for it.
Yeah, but like I said, I'll give you my word. I'll pop back up on you with some updates as it's coming together, as I'm putting the plan in motion. Because right now it's like stockpiling and formatting that game plan, man. That's playing your work your plan, like. And I think everything will happen in perfect order.
Is there anything that we ain't talking about that you wanna talk about? Anything you wanna say?
Nah, I feel like it's probably other stuff you want to ask me. Not really directly. Just, you know, I know you had your core questions. I'm cool.
I mean, not necessarily. Like, I mean, they don't know, but you know, we talked a lot. You know, but we probably talked like a good 45 minutes before the cameras even cut on.
For sure.
So, I mean, no, not necessarily. Like, I mean, I feel like I kind of know you for the most part through your music and, you know, just watching over your interviews and kind of basically growing up with you, you know what I'm saying, as a fan. So, not really. Most things that I might want to know, I feel like I know. You know what I'm saying? And plus, like, I like to keep the music separate from the artist. You know what I'm saying? You know, I think a lot of these new fans, they be too worried about people's personal lives. I'm not really like that. I like to hear the music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Well, yeah. I mean, and the artists that I have grown to be, or the artist that I am, I feel like the bulk of it is in the music. You know, that's for better or for worse. Like,
I think it's always been too.
Yeah, so maybe that's another reason why, like, the talking space, interview space ain't always like came so naturally, or you know, as like we said, the tide shift, and this is where this is almost more viable than the music these days. But I'm like, I tell the stories in my music. It's right there. You just gotta kind of scratch beneath the surface, you know. Like when you was like, what's your mental like? I'm like, well, I'm sorting that out, and I'm writing songs and stuff like that. Like, it's almost like, I mean, I could tell you, but that's, you know, I go sit and talk to my therapist about some of it. I don't want to like replay the session there the same way, like you said. I can appreciate you kind of sorting it out, keeping the artist from the person, but it's intermingled. I done committed more than half of my life to doing this, and so I can't run from it. But it's part of like growing up and trying to just attain more wisdom, is figuring out how to where it deviates, like how to separate it, because people will expect you to, people handle you like you on stage every minute of every day, and like you gotta figure out how to navigate that for yourself, and that's even a you know, that's a challenge. I feel like you asked me about what was it about Top, and I saw like you done a few pieces with Trapperman Dale also. The commonality, like when I first worked with Trapperman Dale, is I could see that he took it serious enough. Like we talked about the Hot Chicken album. This is a side story. I mean, people don't ask or I'm be in the space to say or share. When I was working on Hot Chicken, which was a Nashville-centric project, you know, the majority of the producers was Nashville-based. The majority of the features was Nashville artists. There was over 10 of them. But there was one, I had a session, I booked a session. I invited at least 10 artists to the studio that day. A few of them, you know, respectfully declined or, you know, were busy and otherwise. I can't remember exactly how many, maybe 6 or 7 artists showed up. But, and I had never worked with them at the time. The first person that got to the studio that day was Trapperman Dale. And that meant something to me just in and of itself. Like that, you know what I'm saying? Just like for sure he had a like unique flow, and we made 2 songs. Like he made it on the album twice, you know, in part because he was the first person there, you know what I'm saying? My intent was to collaborate that day. Like we was probably already done with a song before some of the other artists started getting there. And that's not knocking anybody else that, you know, it's just life. But that just still like meant something. I'm like, oh, okay, like he seizing the opportunity. Like that kind of made me like give you know, pay attention to what he had going on. Not to mention he was already, you know what I'm saying, buzzing enough for me to even be reaching out to offer the invite kind of thing. But the same with Top, when I pulled up at the studio, I was like, oh, he in here. Like he's, you know, he's serious. Like again, it's like the same way with Trip. Like can't nobody make you do it. Like you gotta want it. I can't want it for you more than you want it for yourself. And so that's the first thing that stands out. And not to say that there's a lot of people with passion, ambition, and whatever behind it, but it's also like, you know, as far as what I'm trying to like directly support, sometimes it just be organic, it just be timing, it just might be the vibe I'm on at the time, but a lot of times it just reached me in its own way or in a real way, because I wasn't looking for talent when, you know what I'm saying, like me reaching out the Top was, like I said, had as much to do with me knowing them. And then past the reach out, it was like, oh, yeah, I think you might be on to something. Like, what you want to, you know what I'm saying? We went from that, like, matter of fact, people would notice the same day we shot, damn, that's one of them pulling the curtain back too far, but I mean, the same day we shot the Aint Going video was the same day we shot 1-800 Get 'Em Up.
Damn, for real?
Yeah. Same day. And primarily, like, me and Bandplay was shooting a video, and I called bro, like, what you doing later? Like, well, I'm shooting, you know, I was letting him know what I was doing. I was like, you want to shoot the video later? Meet me at Jeff Ruby's kind of thing. Because this how I operate. Like, as far as, like, I'm just full speed ahead. When I'm doing this what I'm doing, and this all I'm doing. And I'll get tunnel vision, and I'm going to work till I pass out. Like, that's what's worked for me. You can look back through some of the documentaries that I put out from projects, and when I'm working around the clock. Like, even now, like, I gotta set the time aside, like, cause I'm on daddy duty majority of the time. So if I do get a little pocket of time where I got some freedom, and can also get in gear to work, that's what I'm doing. You know, I shot the Genesis video, the song I wrote to my daughter. I shot that video the day before that, and so, but I hit Top up like you want to shoot that video? He was like, we can. And I'm like, all right, meet me at Jeff Ruby's. We be down there in about an hour kind of thing. And even that, like, bro, got himself together and got, you know what I'm saying, his people with him and was like ready to, you know what I'm saying, making it happen. Because same thing is like, I mean, it's, you know, from there that kind of set it in motion. It was like, let's put it on, because I think I gave him 2 verses and he only put 1 on the next project, on the Outside Slim project. And so he was like, well, I'm holding the other one. So we decided to put it out as a single. And even from there, like, what you want to do? You know what I'm saying? It was never really so calculated or like I said, I'm looking for an artist or this and that. I don't even look at it like that necessarily. But I'm like, it just kind of perfect storm and come together and make sense. In the same way with trap. Like, from us working on Hot Chicken, we shot the video to the title track that he was on. And those mutual people that kind of made it make more sense for us to be around each other, bro, just kind of started being around and soaking it up. I seen that he was receptive and like a student, you know, willing to be a student. You gotta be a student before you can be a teacher, or, you know, it's a learning curve to all this. And I feel like that's where I might be most of an asset. Not what I can do for you directly, but what you willing to, it's gonna be some steps you might be able to skip just by being in the right spaces and right, you know what I'm saying? Even to this day, it's relationships that I got that I cultivated just from being there. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't my time, but I was there, I was around. I made them connections, shook some hands. So when I doubled back and I was pushing and I was trying, there's people like, hey, I remember you, or you know what I'm saying, or vice versa. I might be like, hey, I'm such and such. I met you. I was in a mix, or like, you can't just sell me on anything because I know what's going on, kind of thing. And it's like, hey, this is, because I ain't gonna hide the information if you around. Like, this is what I'm doing. This how you do this. If you know. So it you know, sharing that even just the info. It's like, man, if that can push you farther, like, let's do it, let's push, let's rock. Because ultimately it's gonna go as far as you willing to take it, not as far as I'm willing to take it. So yeah, that was, I don't even know how we got there, but yeah, we shot
that. You answered that well though.
But we shot that video and it was just kind of like spur of the moment. And it came out hard, and even from that, I'm like, oh yeah. And since then, you know, he been visuals. Like, I think he could see the value of it. Like, and it, man, this ain't rocket science. You just gotta put the work in. Cause I think he didn't know what we had filmed earlier that day. We've been working all damn day already. It was like, I'm finna change clothes, and we're gonna pull down, and let's do it like one night. Like, went in Jeff Ruby's. Ended up getting like a cease and desist letter from their corporate office in Ohio. We had to change the name of the song and everything. Yeah. Like, it's, you know, I still like their food.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, man. Well, look, man, I think this was a good interview. I appreciate, you know, for your time and the content.
For sure.
I can't wait to get it out, and, you know, like you said, I'm looking forward, you know, to all the new music. You know, I mean, I've been a fan for a long time, and I'm looking forward, you know, to the legendary.
Yeah, legendary status.
Legendary status. I'm looking forward to it when they come out, man. So.
Yeah, for sure. It's a few more. Gonna be in the cut, and truthfully, like, I got some things that's kind of coming together in real time. So I don't wanna overstep, and I don't wanna talk about something I'm not sure about yet. But it's like, I think it's promising that it's gonna be more material to surface. Yeah, I'm just trying to seek out good energy, man, and stay inspired. And otherwise, like, but yeah, it's time though.